Welcome to Ecuador. The first thing we're doing here is transformation.
Many of you don't know each other, so how do you become vulnerable? I want the participants to feel the relationship between themselves and an animal.
The fire walk reminds us of our power to choose between fear and hope.
I don't want to do a fire walk.
No, I'm ready to live my life.
We all get burned here and there, don't we? So what?
Inspiring leaders, facing their limits, balancing their heads and their hearts, leveling up to blaze a bold path forward, learning to trust themselves and each other. This is Awakening Giants.
Sarah asked me if the Galapagos Islands was on my bucket list. I said, no, it's on my f*** list, because they said, do you want to go? And I said, yeah, f*** it.
Right, we're in Galapagos and we have many adventures awaiting us here.
We're headed to see the turtles.
Hey! Perfect!
What's happening in our world is a disrespect for life caused from a lack of connection to nature, a lack of connection to that softer side of life.
These islands, they are recovering because the national park, they have reintroduced tortoises. They have took tortoises back in those islands, and now these tortoises, they are doing this job and recovering the land that was destroyed.
Human beings are an animal. We are a species of animal, just like any other species. And most species, if not all, have very specific behaviors. The natural inclination for a female body is nurturing. And what I realized in myself, just by listening to my own body, was how I had denied this female animal everything that is so natural for her. And I personally feel that's such a huge problem in the world.
Connecting with nature immediately brings us into our heart. Connected to our heart, we're able to connect with each other in such a more loving way.
As somebody said, it's like we landed in Jurassic Park.
Look the baby on the rocks, two babies. This baby.
So on these trips, we connect with animals, with the trees, with the water.
The smell of it, it smells like cedar wood almost, but not quite.
This is a healing tree. Yes. All of it for healing.
It smells so much. Oh. It's very cleansing.
I'm feeling a little bit out of place, if I'm honest. Everyone's having a real connection with this tree, and I'm kind of gripping onto it.
So feel that.
Oh,
isn't that beautiful? You
so put your left here and ground.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
You receive with the left, and you ground with your right.
I'm watching everybody else have this completely spiritual experience and emotions and all kinds of things are coming out. So this is clearly a very special tree.
And you guys feel the connection of us as we connect to the tree.
Yes.
I was in a relationship with a man who had a lot of influence and seeming power. every moment of every day, something was telling me to leave him. And I didn't leave the relationship, I escaped the relationship. And started looking at how I got there, energy of letting go. Started excavating myself to the point that now I absolutely know what love is.
Oh my God. Being with Rashan when she had her experience holding the tree was something I've never witnessed before. I felt very privileged to be beside her in that moment.
Mother Earth, it's mother, it's a feminine energy. It's the nurturing energy. It is the caregiver, or rather giving care, taking care of our incredible natural resources, taking care of all living things, taking care of each other. And that feminine energy really comes from the earth. It comes from our planet. It comes from Mother Earth. And in our modern busy lives, we are so disconnected from it.
The earth, our living Mother Earth, is made of water, and it's what creates life within us. Water is the one thing that connects all of us, no matter where we are on the planet.
I haven't been in the water in a really long time, and so I realized how therapeutic being in the ocean could be.
It's only 9 months ago that you wouldn't have even got me in the sea, so I am so grateful.
All I can do is sit back and marvel, not just her power, but her commitment.
I am a powerful leader. I am a powerful woman. In business, I truly am fearless. I can do anything. So to get into the water and snorkel was a bit challenging. I don't swim. I'm not used to wearing flippers, so I kept getting caught. I was mortified as the water kept dragging me through and back and forth. And then finally I let go. And oh my gosh.
I was like fighting for my life. And then it was like, I didn't come here to see fish. I came here to get over my fear. It's like,
When you love somebody, the only question becomes, how can I support her to have the best life she can possibly have?
I did it! Yay! What's next? What's next?
What's next? What do you got for me now?
I knew there'd be something else.
Well, next is naked. What do you want to do naked?
Okay.
So
strip.
That was easy.
This day was perfectly imperfect, just like me. I'm grateful for this day that I exist.
We got stuff to do. As leaders, we got stuff to do. This world is in chaos. We can shift the chaos through love, not force.
I really wasn't sure why I was coming on this trip. And yes, it was going to be a grand adventure, and yes, I was going to meet amazing people.
and I felt being called to a new level of leadership. I feel peaceful and powerful at the same time.
It's rare in my life that I've ever been around people that understand what I'm thinking. And it's the same as what you were saying, because sometimes I think things, but I don't want to say them because sometimes people don't agree with me. But here I am in this place where I can have a conversation with anybody at any given moment, and we share the same belief and understanding with each other. And it's just amazing to feel like understood.
I've had a troubled day, actually. I've really struggled to be present as much as I want to be present. The whole environment and the people around and the landscape and everything else has encouraged me to be present, and yet I had a really tough time today. And I guess it really started this morning when I turned up at 7:45, but everybody wasn't here. And I thought we made an agreement.
For anyone that's having angst or discomfort or dissatisfaction or feeling stuck in themselves, whatever their experience is, it's their experience.
I love each and every one of you. I love this community. And yet, I would still choose to stick with people who stick to their commitments.
The fact is that everybody put their hand up and said, I am committed to be here. Now, if 1 or 2 or 3 people have extenuating circumstances, I totally accept that. But don't tell me that 80% of the people had extenuating circumstances and then ask me, do I trust you when you cannot even keep as simple a commitment as being on time?
Truth is, all of us are co-creating either being on time or not being on time and everything else in between.
I don't want to look and define any of you by whether you were here in that moment this morning. I would much rather have a conversation about how you're showing up and how I'm showing up for you in most of the really big moments of every day.
Circle talk, talking about being on time. In my opinion, I thought it was a waste of time because something like that could be discussed with people one-on-one. We were there for a purpose, but I guess a greater purpose did arise to see how people are caught up on those things.
That particular incident was my story, and I think in my expression of it, I clearly came across as judgmental towards others, and it got a massive defensive response from the group. And I thought this was a space where I could say what I needed to say. So I found that really, really challenging. But I'm still hooked.
What do I mean? On these trips, when we're experiencing clashes and contrasts with each other and outright opportunities to not agree with someone else, we find solution and we find resolution. And we find that through love, acceptance, tolerance, openness, and a willingness to try on a new hat.
This morning I'm feeling that sense of the midway point and that things have not perfectly fallen in place necessarily for everyone yet, nor should they, or even is that an expectation to have, but it's that the thought I have is when things are falling apart, they're actually falling in place. We just don't know it yet.
So we were talking about compassion at breakfast, that we're all just walking each other home. That's what we're here for. Be compassionate. We're all dealing with stuff. Hold each other's hand. Walk each other home.
Yvonne!
Yay! It is absolutely true that you can't change the world without speaking about the change that you want to create.
Have any of you ever felt like speaking out meant death? I felt uncomfortable sharing my story, even with people that I've been hanging out with for several days. It's probably the most vulnerable thing I've ever done. And never be seen again.
We support each participant in actually crafting their message.
Keep that
again.
Help me to see the
Because
light.
that's also great, is you're showing you have.
And if need be, we rehearse and we practice ahead of time.
Now we can allow this dynamic to come out of.
Anchor into that moment. Don't just blaze past that, because that's a really powerful line.
I have a problem shutting down and leaving my body, so I'm really trying to focus on not doing that so they can really feel the essence of who I am, because most of my life I haven't let people feel my essence because I've shut down.
But just, I mean, really beautiful space.
I want to hear the rest.
Yes.
Somebody ready.
Somebody needed to hear that twice.
And you could
Yeah, right.
As a reinforcement spot. It's not like you only say things once.
It's okay.
And
It's
remember,
all
we
good.
talked about what the statistics are of women that are experiencing that in Ecuador.
Yeah.
So know that you're helping people. So whatever you're saying, you have to repeat it. If you forget it, it doesn't matter. Just keep sharing your beautiful story. It's yours, and you're giving it to others so that the others don't have to. They can stop it soon.
And remember that it's your energy that's the delivery system of your message. And you're holding a beautiful space. This is where you point your gaze.
Working with Lynn this morning, it made me feel more comfortable. I was really, really nervous. So I felt better with having a small group, get me ready maybe for tomorrow, having a bigger group.
My whole life has been about transformational work. It's a gift to be able to stand in your power and help others stand in theirs.
Okay, so let's try that one.
Welcome to Inspire Quito. It is such a joy and an honor for us as the Awakening Giants to be here in your country and to be able to share our wisdom and our inspiration while learning from yours. We are so excited for what we have here for you today and to be able to connect with you. And our Awakening Giants in the house, make some noise.
Every participant gets on a stage. You deliver your message to the world.
I don't work to change someone's being. I help them find their truth. That is what matters.
Become aware of who you truly are, and when you do, you will come to the place where you will meet your maker. And once you meet that essence that is inside of you, you will never need to look outside of yourself ever again for what makes you happy.
Creating a ripple effect. And each life that you touch, each time your message touches a life, you never know what they're going to go and do with it.
The one philosophy is about treating each and every person you meet in every single moment as the one, because they are.
My mom's boyfriends, not one of them, but 3 of them, molested me. Throughout my childhood, I remember thinking in those so-called loving moments, where was God? Why wouldn't He help me? And I couldn't cry out with a man's big hand over my mouth. I was doing my talk, I glanced out and I could just see all the awakening giants holding space for me. You can survive your past. Look inside and create a new future. Speak your truth and let your voice be heard. Thank you.
It's so important to share your message and what you've learned in life. It truly means you have transitioned and implemented a change.
Happiness is an inside job. But you know, we don't have to do it alone.
I believe that within each of us, there are heroes. Heroes waiting to be discovered.
As leaders As change makers, as awakening giants, we have to rise above it. We have to rise above the clutter.
Some people are living their life with the ultimate distraction. What is the ultimate distraction? The ultimate distraction is living someone else's life. Living up to someone else's expectations. But there's some good news. You have a choice. You have a choice about how you live your life. What are you going to do when you leave here? Are you going to follow somebody else's dream? Or are you going to honor what's right for you? If you want to write your story, and you've got one shot, make sure you are holding the pen.
For so long, I needed to be noticed, needed to be seen and validated.
Can I answer the call to lead just because I choose?
This filter was designed so that a 6-year-old can put it together.
They knew that this was something to change their lives. Things start moving. I said, oh, I'm not eating that because it's moving. What is it? A worm?
I got to learn from them. I got to see pure joy. Watching the expression on their face when that first drop of pure water comes out of the filter never gets old.